There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory.
Hey there, my name is Bruno, but you can call me, Bruno. Welcome back to Inking Words. In 1991, Bret Easton Ellis had his novel published by Picador. Just little pause here, because if you know Portuguese, the name of the company suits perfectly the book. I mean, sweet irony or destiny, you choose. Okay, move along. Alice was published by Picador Publishing Company, UK, after being fired by another publisher cause people at the company thought that the book was in bad taste and offensive. The book was even censored in multiple countries. Alice, in an interview, said that the people in the publisher company didn't understand the book. They didn't get the satire, the humor, and they thought that the picture of violence and misogyny was a real act of violence and misogyny. People, have always been like this. Anyways, I had the idea for this video review after I had listened to some classmates of mine in college talking about the theme of the movie American Psycho. They said that the main idea behind the film was male vanity. I had already seen the film a few times, but I had never read the book. The genre of the book is considered transgressive fiction, postmodern novel, black comedy, horror, or the best fit, at least for me, satire. Just a parenthesis here, to Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, satirical verse and phallic songs represent men as worse than they are. It's almost, and it's a free shallow interpretation of mine of course, that satire is making fun of people in their worst form of themselves. It's like a grandfather of social commentary. You can judge me, but it sounds like reverse hyperbole. I need to reread Poetics by Aristotle anyways. And of course, we cannot forget the movie and the brilliant performance of Christian Bale, and the adaptation of the book for the big screen have a lot of poetic licenses, but it's amazing good. And let us not forget that the adaptation of the novel to a screenplay was a great work by Mary Harron and Guinevere Turner. Transposing from one medium to another is very difficult. Anyways, let's talk about the book. And I have one thing to say. My dear friends, if you think that the film is hardcore, the book is a million times heavier. And I mean it. The story is told in first-person narration. Our conductor in the story, main character, and villain, if you will, is Patrick Bateman. Bateman is a young, wealthy, good-looking, narcissistic as any good psycho investment banker from the late 80s. A yuppie. This is the Manhattan of the Wall Street boom from the 80s, a rich New York zone of the overuse of Alka-Seltzer, if you know what I mean. Well, Patrick is living the perfect life. Everything is glamour and ostentation. And I think, even if Bateman is an unreliable narrator, his depict in the book gave us a lot of clues that he is, at least, a very unstable person. He can be talking about the importance of saving poor children in Africa, and at the same time, thinking about how to kill the next victim. Here we are walking inside of his mind. We can see what he's seeing and thinking. and how he reacts to everything that surrounds him. We can understand his double life, the perfect persona that he is trying to project to people around him, or at least in his inner circle. Because for him, image is the most important thing in life. Well, image and his own pleasure. Patrick is always talking about the things that he owns and why all his stuff is the best in the world. The best Toshiba TV and videotape set, suits, schools, university, restaurants, nightclubs, best women, even the best water. If you don't know, the best one is Evian, but only in glass bottles. One of the things that scared me the most about the character was that he's always analyzing you. He knows what you're wearing, your hairstyle, and other things in the minimal details. Gives him as this kind of aura of a predator. Patrick has an extreme lack of empathy. He is manipulative, charming, and exploitative, and behaves in an impulsive and risky manner. For him, things and people are almost equal, when things are not way above people. Throughout the book, he is living a consumerist behavior that was supposed to make him feel good and happy. For Bateman, all the pretty and expensive things that money can buy, even sex with gorgeous women, is meaningless, because he's only happy when he's thinking about horrible, despicable, violent acts. Patrick despises other human beings, even family. He hates his mother and his young brother Sean. A curiosity here, Sean is one of the main characters of another Alice novel, The Rules of Attraction. Like any psychopath, his lack of empathy is complete. There's no love for others there, only self-love. In one of the book's chapters, he kills a toddler in the zoo just for fun. During the story, his acts of violence get darker and grandiose. He has a fiancée while he's having an affair with another woman, and some escort girls too. But there's no love there too, only praise. He tries to get involved with his secretary, probably because she's pure and almost naive. She's not completely shallow like the other women in his life, and maybe that's the thing that attracts him. Maybe a good wife, trophy. The book is developed in such a way that after every chapter the mind of Patrick gets more confused and his thoughts and acts become more violent in a very graphic and disturbing methods. A good way to put it is that Patrick lives a shallow life, snorting cocaine with his Wall Street colleagues, critiquing other people for their clothing, manners, and giving fashion advice, question one another on proper etiquette in distinct situations. They all look alike, and maybe that's why Bateman tries so hard to be perfect, because the chase for perfection is not just psychopath behavior, it is the rule in that group. To him, to have the best body, education, products, job, and girls is to be on the top of the food chain. All the vanity, compulsive, consumerist behavior is in there. What else a psycho would want in life? There's so much more in the book that we can talk about it for days and days, and I don't want to give you spoilers and the video is becoming too long. But the satire, the black humor of the absurd world of Patrick Bateman is shocking, provocative, and make you think a lot about, sometimes, how stupid things and people are in life, and how we can be walking down some very dark path. But please, don't take my words for granted. Go read.